I move the motion relating to a proposed select committee on PsiQuantum funding in the terms in which it appears on the notice paper. The Albanese Labor government's decision to invest almost $1 billion of taxpayers' money into the American company PsiQuantum raises several serious questions which warrant scrutiny. Since the announcement was first made by the Prime Minister and the Minister for Industry and Science on the 30th of April, the opposition has sought to hold up to scrutiny this extraordinary bet which has been made with public money, and the government has trenchantly resisted that scrutiny at every stage. That is why I am today moving to establish a parliamentary inquiry so that we can find out what happened and who is responsible. The Albanese government has chosen to bet a very large amount of public money on one particular company pursuing one particular technology path within the broad field of quantum, a field in which people who have worked for 20 or 30 years cannot say with certainty which of the many paths being explored is likely to achieve a successful outcome. On any view, it will be at least several years and very possibly longer before the technology being developed by PsiQuantum is proven to work, if it can be proven to do so at all. We know that a very poor process was followed to get to this decision. The Albanese government agreed to assess an unsolicited proposal from PsiQuantum as early as November 2022, 2 months before external probity advisors were engaged. The Department of Industry, Science and Resources entered into a non-binding agreement with PsiQuantum in June 2023, yet the government points to an expression of interest process which commenced only in August 2023. It was an expression of interest process in which companies were invited to participate by one email only. There were no follow-up telephone calls. There was no second email. Those who were invited to participate were told they could not speak with Australian government officials. This was after PsiQuantum had been speaking for more than 8 months with Australian government officials, up to and including the minister, who had visited their premises in California and had met with them directly. We now know the terms of the expression of interest. It essentially asked respondents to match the promise made by PsiQuantum of building a fault-tolerant, error-corrected quantum computer by 2030. Many in the sector are extremely sceptical that this can be done, but scepticism is not welcome in Minister Husick's regime. We know that Minister Husick has a particular interest in venture capital firm Blackbird. In October 2022, he appointed Claire Birch of Blackbird to the National Quantum Advisory Committee. In December 2022, he appointed Kate Glazebrook of Blackbird to the Industry, Innovation and Science Australia Board. In May 2023, he launched the National Quantum Strategy with Nomad Atomics, a Blackbird-funded company. On 30 April this year, he announced almost $1 billion in funding for PsiQuantum, a company in which Blackbird is an investor. Blackbird and the many other investors in this company, of course, greatly benefited from that decision and that announcement. It is on the record that there is a close personal friendship between the minister's senior advisor Ellen Broad and Blackbird executive Kate Glazebrook. I have written to the Auditor-General requesting that the Australian National Audit Office undertake an investigation into the Australian government's investment in PsiQuantum, and the Auditor-General has responded that a potential investigation is being considered. There are many aspects of what happened here which are very concerning, and there needs to be a parliamentary inquiry to get to the bottom of this decision and the reasons for it, and many other aspects of what happened. We know that a Deputy Secretary who advised against this commitment of funding subsequently left the department after being on gardening leave for a considerable period of time. We know that Export Finance Australia was directed to commence work on providing the funding even before the expression of interest process had concluded. The sad reality is, Deputy Speaker, as a consequence of this decision, Australian taxpayers are now exposed to almost $1 billion of their money being put at risk in what is a remarkably speculative venture. The Minister has publicly stated that he welcomes scrutiny of this investment. Now is the time for him to back those words with action. If he's serious, he will arrange for this resolution to be brought on for a vote and for Labor to vote in support of it.